Beneath every disguise, every gesture false so true.
What do you think the average IQ of this group is, huh?
You know what the fuck it is? You know what the fuck it is? Crazy bitches on TV. You know what the fuck it is? You know what the fuck it is? That the beat is on the move. Watch out, right now. Feeling angry to myself. Smoke up, beat down. People telling on and on. Watch out, right now. Feeling angry to myself. Smoke up, beat down. People telling on and on. Wake me up from your mood. Wake me up and shine around. I can see myself on my own TV. Watch out, right down. Feeling angry to things I like. It is the things you don't like. Come on, don't run me down in this shit. I know you heard it. Watch out, right now. Feeling angry to myself. Smoke up, beat down. People saying on and on. Watch out, right now. Feeling angry to myself. Smoke up, beat down. People saying on and
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
We're here.
What's
Live.
up, guys?
We made it. We're
The gay
ready.
firefighters get me every time in that one, man.
That's how it's done. You'll never know what it is to be a Frenchman.
What's the fucking movie where they're in a cave and that monster's eating that bitch's head? What is that?
That's the Taking of Deborah Logan.
Okay, I need to watch that.
That
Oh,
would be
yeah,
a
that's great.
WTF for sure.
I've never seen that.
It's on Shudder.
Check it out.
Generally, at any time anybody has any questions on the reel, they're just like, "What's the blue people? What
Yeah,
is that?"
That's the most popular
Bro.
one.
That's
Yeah.
a movie called Cold Skin, which I love that movie. And it's not so much a what the fuck movie. There's this what the fuck scene in that movie that you cannot unsee or unhear. But it does have a larger meaning, but that'll come later.
Is it blue people
Yes.
fucking?
No comment. We'll see. Just watch the movie. You don't want to have that spoiled for you. But it's one of those things where like the car comes and hits you from the side, you didn't even see it coming. You're just going, "Oh my god, what is happening?" How's everybody doing? Everybody have a good weekend?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, weekend was a long time ago, man. Weekend was a long time ago. That was a long fucking day.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm looking forward to next weekend.
Yeah. I literally just watched this right before the stream started and raced to finish some notes. Johnny and Anthony are watching it now. And then Alan's just
Insane.
ordering shit off Screen Factory. So everything, all right with the world.
Yeah.
Let's catch up with the chat. We'll get into this. Paul Wrangler, what's up?
What's up, man?
All notes.
What's up?
Pull me out. Yep. First time you're going to hear that, or the last time. Spicoli, dude. What's up, everyone? Another week, another WTF. Well, we were doing them every Monday, but I can't guarantee we'll be doing them every Monday. But we'll try to do at least one or two a month.
Hey, man. There ain't no surprise birthday party in here for me, man.
Surprise birthday party in here just for me.
There's the glue right over there. I know that, dude.
Everybody's saying what's up. We're saying what's going on. Sydney Eubanks, what's up?
Hey, Sydney.
Yeah.
What's up, Sydney?
Allie, what's up? What's going on?
Yeah.
Well,
What's up, Al?
This was actually a suggestion from Allie. We were already talking. We actually were already talking about doing this, but at least I was watching the shit out of it before then. And I was just like, that's good enough for me. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And we had a series of movies that I would say not everyone liked, to put it kindly. You know, I think this might break the cycle a little bit. There might be some fans of this one, so
You're right, though. It was really difficult for us all to enjoy like the same movie. I feel like it's like if Brett and I liked it, then like a couple other guys didn't like it, or if, Alan and Brett liked it, then you know what I mean. It's weird. It was just like there's never
very
like,
few.
instinct.
I would say like Eyes Wide Shut might have been the one where everybody liked it.
Yeah, I really like that one. I like that one a lot. Yeah,
that's just a really good movie.
I think It Follows we all enjoyed.
It Follows too. Yeah, another one.
I think so, right? Yeah, I feel like
Melancholia was 10s across the board. So we just moved right
all 10s. Thanks, Lars.
Everybody say what's up. Allie, I'm already ready for the next weekend as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck Monday, they say.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Yeah.
I was thinking that, but I didn't say it.
Something like that, man.
But yeah, we're doing Possessor, the Brandon Cronenberg movie. I think everybody got the same release. Johnny, Johnny, you got the red one, right?
Yeah.
But
always got something fucking different.
I paid enough for that motherfucker. I'm gonna show it off. Somebody's fucking comment on my slip.
Somebody tell me
Throw
how
that slip off. Throw that slip off, Alan.
Yeah. What you do is you get the red case and you put the yellow slip on it, or vice versa.
Oh,
that way
that's true.
real good case. Yeah,
That's true. Get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's another one of those ones where we got a Blu-ray and then later a 4K, and then who fucking knows the next release of this will be. I could see Second Sight doing this, doing a big release. That would be badass.
They might.
But 2020, written and directed by Brandon Cronenberg, shot entirely in Toronto, Canada, takes place in an alternate version of 2008, probably in Toronto. But there's multiple Brits in this movie, so I don't know if Toronto's got a bunch of British people or not. I don't know, but I think the plates, if I remember, I saw some license plates and they definitely weren't British plates, so I would assume it takes place in Toronto also. The movie opens on a black woman using an instrument that is attached to her own brain. I don't know what it's called the what do they call the fucking thing? The calibrator. And it's like a very something like that. It looks like a Walkman, but the jack hooks to the to a syringe, and she places it in her brain, and she's like turning the knob, and it's like adjusting her facial features, and she's like happy, then sad, and then all over the place. You have no idea.
Every emotion or something, to kind of recalibrate everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked very old school for supposed to be futuristic. It looks like old and whatever.
And for something about that, for such a small scene, those actors did a pretty good job of going from one emotion to another.
Yeah,
even though it was a quick little shot, they did a good job with it. So
yeah, and it's an alternate version of 2008, so the technology is still pretty like clunky and lo-fi. I really like that touch.
And the chick that she's possessing, because they're sharing the same mind, knows that she's going to get executed that night. So it's probably like the most emotional that the brain, like all the emotions the brain is going through, knowing that, she's going to kill herself by the end of the night that's probably why she has to calibrate that thing to really adjust. Because, there's in your brain, it stops you from committing suicide. There's something in your brain that tells you don't step over the ledge, don't do this, don't do that. There's like a natural thing that you have.
Unless the air from the happening gets a hold of you, then you're fucked.
Unless they're right, exactly. Unless the happening gets your ass, then you need Marky Mark.
The wind.
But yeah, there's something in there that stops you. So I think it's almost like her defense mechanism trying to take control again. She just can't. So I love that scene. That's a great scene right at the beginning.
If you pay attention to this thing, I think you get a lot more. It's one of those movies, even though it's in English, treat it like it's subtitles. because if you do, you pick up a lot from this. It cut to her dressed in matching jumpsuits with apparently a group of birthday singers. I don't know what they were, but it's a whole group of broads, and they're all in blue jumpsuits. And that color blue keeps coming back for some reason. She stops to admire and grope a tray of steak knives, as you do. I mean, she's really fingering these steak knives. And I love that those little touches throughout it too, but they keep coming back. Her and the group walk right up to this fat guy at a party, and out of nowhere, the black woman stabs him in the neck with a steak knife, and then proceeds to stab the guy a few hundred times. I don't know how many it was. I didn't count, but I mean, she is
it's really a great scene,
and she's having a blast. Yeah. In front of an entire crowd of people, they run away. She reaches down when he's dead and wets her hand in the blood. And then she tells you can tell she's like really like savoring it, just playing with the blood, and is real sadistic. She says, "Pull me out," takes out a gun and tries to kill herself, but can't pull the trigger. Police show up, and she chooses suicide by cop by pointing the gun at them, and they go all, Paul Verhoeven, RoboCop on her, just perforate her with bullets. And even the one cop at the end puts her down, shoots her right in the face, and just a big hole right in her face, blood spurting out everywhere.
It looks great too. God, even the stab
really
one looked really great because it wasn't over exaggerated, like hitting that neck artery, and then like we always see over exaggerated where it just sprays everywhere. You could actually just see like the knife handle like hits up against the skin and makes the indention to go in. You're like, oh,
yeah. Well, I made the comment, this is one of the most violent movies you'll ever see, and Brian was kind of like flinched at that. I'm like, it's not Jason, but goddamn, it's visceral and brutal. It's real. It feels real to life violence, and it goes straight up from here.
Yeah, the sound textures alone, like they're just hearing the bones crunch and shit like that throughout one of the key scenes we'll talk about here in a minute. Just the sound of this movie too has already like
not that it's more violent than other movies. It's just the violence is done so well.
Yeah,
the violence that is in it really stands out. So it seems more in your, more realistic, more in your face.
But those cops light her ass up, and then the one cop goes over and then shoots her right in the cheek.
She was already subdued. Like there was no need for it. Like she was on the fucking floor, couldn't even
wide
pull
open.
her head up.
She's wide open, dead. Boom! There's another one just for good measure.
One more,
right in the cheek.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was.
That was great. Yeah.
I just the blood everywhere. I mean, just really well done. Cut to Voss. Andrea Riseborough. I don't know exactly how you say her last name. She's British. She's the lead for Mandy. She's been in a bunch of stuff. She's a great actress. She's being pulled out by Gerger, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, as her boss. And they're like they're detaching like a helmet off of her head, basically, like some kind of like steampunk looking helmet, almost like being unplugged from the Matrix kind of thing. And you learn very quickly how it all works. This is the exposition. Jennifer Jason Leigh has an exit interview, a debriefing with her, and they do a test where Gerger asks Voss to identify a series of items that either belong to her or not. She comes to a butterfly that's in a little display box. She says, "This is mine. I killed it and mounted it one summer, and when I was a little girl, and I felt guilty about it. I still feel guilty about it." And Voss looks sad thinking about it. She's questioned about her performance by her boss, Gerger, telling her there's a huge contract coming up and she wants her at her best. Voss mentions she wants to take some time off to spend with her husband and son. She's got like how old is that boy, you think? 8?
Maybe.
Yeah, give or take.
Something like that. Gerger explains that you're separated, implying that it's over and maybe she forgot when she was under, like she's still in the daze. Voss says, "No, we've been talking and I'm going to see them." Gerger says, "You're not safe for them anymore, are you? And you yourself said you're becoming a danger to them." Voss says, "Did I say that? Like, did I say that? Or are you implying that?" Which I think they're building it pretty well without hammering you over the head. Before we go any further, let's make sure we catch up with the chat here. Oh, we're way back here somewhere. Coley says the Mangler was all too. Yeah, the Mangler. That's like we did have a lot of fun with that. It was a really fun one, and not that WTF at all. It was more like I watched it and got like something totally different from it, and then I watched it again, and I was like, oh, it wraps up really nicely. No explanation new. Let's do it anyway. Why not?
Yep.
Wild Wrangler saying hey to everybody. Sean Blue Digital, what's going on, dude?
What's up, Sean?
Hey, Sean.
Hall Notes, hell yeah, pops with the slip.
Thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. That was worth the $30 extra.
$30 extra.
God damn.
Movie's 18.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's just move on. Read the next comment.
$48.
Alan, it's not a Scream Factory.
It's not a boutique anything. But whatever,
Tony paid for it.
Yeah, there you go. You traded Scream Factory titles for Possessor.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Allie,
Well, I didn't trade them, but Tony gave me some money for some Scream Factory titles. I gave it to the dude on eBay for a slip. So circle of life.
Recycling. Just recycling.
Right.
It's a hard slip to get. Tony didn't even have the slips for them. Or if he did, he only had the one.
Well, that's what fucked me. When you told me it was a hard slip to get, I went out looking for it. I found it with a slip. I said, fuck it, I'm going to get it. If you never would have said that, I just got the basic bitch and moved on.
Oh, sure you would have. Put it on me. If that makes you feel better, you put it right on me.
It absolutely makes me feel better.
Allie says Johnny's copy is the coolest because it's red, my favorite color. I like them both. Yeah. I wish, maybe the slip was yellow and the insert was red or something, but
Allie, for what it's worth, this was found for literally $1.50 at a local pawn shop. So
damn,
not $48. But,
thanks, Johnny. That makes me feel better, Johnny. I appreciate it.
Just a Blu-ray. It's not 4K. It's not 4K. Yeah. It's just a Blu-ray.
I'm sure I pointed it out, but we're doing the uncut version. Johnny was able to see the uncut version.
Yep.
He's saying, hey. Sydney Eubanks, The Possessor is a good movie. I watched it once. Cool. Hagen, what's going on, man?
Hey, Hagen.
What's going on, Hagen?
He's saying, what's up? Sean still hasn't seen Possessor. Yeah, you need to get out of here, dude. Because we're going to
spoil the shit out of it.
The fucking shit out of this movie.
Sean, you should check it out. Man. You would probably like this movie a lot. You should check it out.
Yeah, it's like $18 without the slip for the 4K.
Mm.
Olin says it's a good one. Scully says I watched Possessor early. Wasn't the worst thing I watched today. Well, I saw some of the kinos you got in. Maybe you watch Rawhead Rex.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too. That was a good video, Spicy.
Back up. What the fuck's the matter with Rawhead Rex, man?
Well,
some beef or something?
Rawhead Rex is not my favorite. I do like it, but it's not my favorite. Let's put it that way. He just got the 4K, and I saw his channel. He just updated. Holland says it's intimate violence. So there you go.
You know what's weird though with that Kino release for Rawhead Rex? That's not isn't there an unrated cut that Vinegar Syndrome did? Isn't there like a super violent, or am I thinking of something else?
I think you're
thinking. I don't think Vinegar Syndrome ever put that out.
I don't think they've ever had Rawhead Rex.
Okay, so it's just the Kino release. That's I thought it was unrated linear cut. Yeah, I was just curious. I might be thinking of something else though. Tammy and the T-Rex, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking of, isn't it? Tammy and the okay,
yeah, that's the gore cut. Squally says headshot.
Headshot.
Wild Wrangler says he just got back. Cool. NK, I got to check this out. Sound interesting. I like the cast. Yeah, man. We're like I said, you're gonna have to get out of here, man, because we're gonna spoil the fucking shit out of it. But yeah, I definitely recommend.
Yeah, check it out, Hagen. For sure.
Saying, what's up? Ollie says 150. Dang, that's an insult to a really good movie. Yeah. Well, it didn't come with the flip, so it's worthless.
Yeah. Somebody else's trash is my treasure now. So $1.50, you can't go wrong.
You know, the thing is, Johnny goes to a lot of pawn shops. They never let me in the pawn shops. Like when I remember I stopped trying. I tried to go into like 2 or 3, like when I was like kind of like looking for titles and stuff back in the day. And it's like you get to the door and you know they like hit the thing like, hey, what's up? What do you need? And I'm like, oh, I'm just looking for movies and stuff. We don't have any. Later.
Damn.
Oh my God.
You look like somebody that's gonna rob them.
Yeah, I look like something. I don't know what the hell, but it's more like you don't have any money. Fuck
right.
It's fucking profiling, man.
Yeah. I don't blame. Listen, I don't blame him. Allie, but for your sake, Johnny, what a steal. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, cut to Voss outside, or she leaves the interview. Cut to Voss outside her husband and son's house, vaping. Everybody vapes in this movie.
Yeah.
You're going to see that for some reason. It's very, very like prominent throughout this. She's practicing phrases and tones to try and sound human. Inside, they have food and they talk. They obviously don't know what she does for a living. She said she's in business or whatever at a conference. They watch TV on a projector. The kid plays with the world's creepiest fucking robot toy ever. I don't know what that toy was about, but like it's only one scene, but it was like, and you can tell it has the little logo of the company that she works for on the shirt. So it's clearly like the company she's works for is like a conglomerate, a big thing.
Just to make it more futuristic.
Yeah.
The whole reason for it.
Yeah.
Annabelle's second cousin.
Yeah. They have dinner with friends. Voss looks bored out of her fucking mind the entire time. Like just like she wants to slit her wrist at this dinner party. She asks her husband to ask them to leave because they're stayed too. He says, I'm sorry, I didn't expect them to stay too long. He gets them to leave. They have lifeless sex. And yeah, it's really, really, really strange. She can't focus. She can't focus on anything. In her mind, all she can picture is that knife going in that fat guy's neck, which was a nice touch. And then as she keeps seeing that, she starts to get more excited and more into it.
Let's be real. Like he's technically fucking a dead chick at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely her fault.
And poor guy's pouring the coal, and her face is just.
I mean, he's just laying it balls deep as much as he can. It's just
nothing compares to that. Nothing compares to that knife in that fat guy's neck. But she's making this motion with her hand, like she's feeling the blood from earlier. She's doing that as she's going through this. Afterwards, she calls Gerder and tells her she's ready to come back to work immediately. She's sorry for not being herself at their meeting. Voss's husband comes down and demands that she move back in, and Voss can't even hear what she's saying. She's staring at his neck, and she sees the identical neck wound from the fat guy from earlier. All she can see is that. And she goes upstairs to smell her son while he sleeps. What did you take from when the husband comes down, he's like the wife. He comes down and she can't even hear what he's saying. And I'm watching that. I was like, that's a wonderful touch. Because that, you got to tell ladies out there, you got to tell your dude the same thing through. We got to make sure the first time doesn't even count. It doesn't even count because that has immediately been dismissed. The second time he might catch it. The third time he'll get it. And I felt like that was kind of like a flipped, like all she hears is white noise as he's trying to talk to her. All she hears is he's just like, she can't hear shit. All she can see is his neck. And then when she goes upstairs to smell her son, what did you guys take from that?
Innocence.
Yeah.
Trying to get some kind of realism and get her mind back in this world instead of in the fucking Matrix.
She's trying. I think she's trying to get some kind of sense of a connection. Like, she's trying to feel human and trying to understand, she's trying to get back to, her humanity. That's what I took from it, at least.
Yeah, it reminded me like of a scene from Raw, actually. Yeah. Like a very primal, kind of.
Yeah, some sort of primal attempt at a connection. And you can tell she's like smelling that kid and it's nothing. Just blank face. She's not getting anything from it. At a meeting with Gerder now, back at work, Gerder says, "Am I losing you?" She tells Voss she's too old for the machine. Gerder being too old for the machine. Jennifer Jason Leigh's older than her. And she wants Voss to replace her. Gerder explains she's been grooming her for the position, and Voss perks right up. She goes, "I'd be honored." This seems to be a huge promotion, huge deal, major company, big position. She explains to Voss that she sees a small thread running from her skull to the life she thought she moved on from. And that's all it takes to lose control. She asked why Voss stabbed the fat guy to death instead of using the gun. Voss says it seemed more in character. Girder says, whose character? And I thought that was interesting. And Voss kind of looks at her like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Like, what are you trying to say here, lady? They discuss the next job, where a stepson wants to have the stepfather killed to take over the company. They paint the narrative of the drug dealer, who's with the other daughter. They're going to take him over and use him for the assassination. They're going to spin it as she's emasculated him, and he has a breakdown and snaps on the father. But they admit that the job is because they have designs on the company as a whole separately. But basically, is this drug dealer gets involved with this rich guy's daughter who owns this giant company, and they're going to use him to, because he's a criminal. They're going to use him as the patsy, and it kind of and as the story involves, you kind of see it's really true what they've discovered about this situation. But anyway, let's just go a little further where we catch up with the chat. Voss watches her mark. She studies him. She starts using his speech patterns. She starts to play with her hand again as she's watching him, like with the dripped blood, like she was doing earlier. But she seems to realize it starts to bother her periodically, and she starts to lose control of her hand. Girder even looked at it earlier when they were doing that little exercise when she was showing those items to her. Her right hand, she seems to be losing control with it. Almost like an idle hands type thing, where like the hand, she's starting to lose all control of her right hand.
Right. Like she's still possessed a little bit,
Yeah.
like there's some remains left of the other person just kind of trying to mess with her a bit, or,
Maybe like her killer subconscious even too. Like I even thought that,
Could be. Yeah.
Sydney Eubanks. Question: what horror movies have the best gore and violence? Makes you crave for more?
Feast.
Feast is great. Great.
Yeah, load of gore. Yeah.
The movie called Abominable. I like that gore a lot. It's a Bigfoot gore movie. I love this gore. I love the Infinity Pools gore too. Johnny's just like, there's so many, so much slaughter running through his head right now.
He said feast, and I'm just replaying that whole movie in my mind. That guy's preparing that fucking dinner. I'm like, God, that's so good.
The last fucking 30 minutes of From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh yeah,
that one shot where he stabs the vampire on the neck and that blood shoots up like above his head in slow motion. Yeah, it's great shit.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 has some really great,
Evil Dead 2013. I love that. I love the splatter in that one too.
Yeah.
Jennifer Jason Leigh has a really interesting filmography. Good Time, The Hateful Eight, Annihilation, etc. Yeah, she's great.
She's definitely not Daisy Domergue in this film though.
No.
Daisy Domergue. That's such a fucking great movie. God damn it. I love that movie.
Nicole says High Tension. Yeah, tremendous gore in that also. Another movie that has incredible sound design, just like this movie. Johnny touched on it earlier. The sound design on this movie is perfect. This is really going to pound that. Yeah.
I saw that shit earlier and I was like,
the lamest sexy Spicoli said he saw Rod Rex and wasn't bad. Cool. Wild Wrangler Sean Bean. Yeah, we'll get to that. Caveman Movies and More says can't stay. I'm on Huck's sci-fi competition tonight. Cool. But wanted to say hello. Cool, man.
Good luck, man.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck tonight, man.
Ali said the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake and prequel both have great gore. Absolutely.
They do. Great choices, yeah. I love both those movies.
All right. So after she studies him, starts getting his mannerisms, cut to a van that has the mark sedated into it. Tate is his name. They're setting the implant, which is a great little scene with the technology, drilling the hole in his head and everything. It's literally an implant they put in the top of the skull that they, hook into. Gerder explains she's supposed to kill the father by the day after tomorrow, and she's supposed to use the time to push the narrative of him having issues with the family. She's only got 3 days of compatibility, and after 5, the implant begins to dissolve. So she basically gives her the remainder of time to use a reminder to use the calibrator every single day because they're not that compatible. Then there's a jump sequence where they're bonding to each other basically.
I love
really
that scene. Yeah,
great style.
I love that. You talk about great,
especially
direction, practical
especially
effects.
the EMT in the back of the truck that's giving the report to Gerder. They're saying they picked him up on the way to the airport, but you never really saw how they intercepted him and what really happened. So you're kind of left to be like, okay, like what the fuck, did they fake some kind of accident to get him in there? Like,
that's what
what was going on with that?
I was thinking
kind of
the
let
same
that
thing.
chunk out.
Like, yeah,
and I was kind of thinking, I was like, wait a minute, there's something right there. There's a difference between the uncut version and the cut version that I have, but it turns out that has nothing to do with it whatsoever. And I was like, well, shit. So they just kind of played off of that really quick.
Well, they kind of showed later with Eddie kind of the devices that they use. So I would just think it was the type of thing where they just backed up next to him and shot him and then pulled him into the van. That would be my guess. But it's all off screen. But you get the sense that they've done this a million times and they're very, very good at it, very proficient at it.
But that scene where they're showing her when it's going into they're melding their minds together and it just shows like her melting away and then basically becoming him at this point, so like her old self melts away, becomes him. That whole thing was shot beautifully, and I guess that was all like in camera and just all pretty much for the most part practical effects, like a little bit
wax
of
melt
CGI
scenes
here and there, but
there's no CGI. There's absolutely no
zero
CGI.
I thought there was like
zero CGI.
Okay,
no, they use they put like paper, like red paper and stuff over the lens, and they twist it, and it's real old school lo-fi shit. Yeah. And even like that floating thing later that we find, that's real. That's styrofoam. It's like styrofoam that they blast tiny little speakers above and below it to get
sound reverberation.
To get it to shake, shake like that. Oh, okay, yeah. No, that looks great.
See, he pulled that off
fantastic.
without any CGI whatsoever. That just goes to show we need to go back to that.
Even that
knife wound, when the husband and the wife has that awkward sex scene, and she's envisioning the guy with the neck wound. Like I said, they didn't over exaggerate where they just spray, but you could just see the blood. I was even thinking about when I recapped it. I was like, God, we should have had Dr. Ordinary on here because I guarantee you, he would have saw that scene and been like, "Fuck, that's spot on."
That's real.
I mean, we got all the tricks from back in the day with fucking practical effects. We got the people with talent out there. They put the effort in. We could get more practical effects movies with all this fucking CGI. All the tricks have already been invented. Everything's been mastered. So they can't do it.
Yeah, and it's not like this was an expensive movie. You don't get the sense that this was a huge budget at all.
Yeah.
By the way, another movie with a lot of great gore, The Descent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The darkness really helps The Descent.
Yeah.
Literally a bloodbath.
Yeah. A lake of blood down there.
Yeah.
Shit.
Voss wakes up as Tate, played by Chris Abbott, in his apartment. She wanders around, checking out his place, going through his stuff. She discovers her new dick and balls, which we needed to see that, of course. And eventually his girlfriend, this becomes a mess, by the way. I'm going to try to explain this all correctly, but it's Tate's girlfriend, but Tate is now a woman on the inside, which that's all that matters. You can just say, and you switch. She senses the girlfriend senses immediately that there's something off with him. Tate eats an apple just like Voss did earlier with a knife, and again the girlfriend questions Tate. You've gone strange on me. Voss as Tate notices a strange floating tic-tac like orb, like blob in the air, but when she grabs it, nothing is there again, which is not CGI. Which I thought was really cool. Even the waterfall earlier, the waterfall looks like it's almost going backwards. That's all done with vibrations and sound.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Voss as Tate goes to work at his soon-to-be father-in-law's company, It's obviously a really low level data entry job, and he's treated as such. You know, they talk to him like he's a dog. A friend stops him named Eddie to brag about the foreign broads he took down on the business trip. They were the retreat or whatever the hell they were all on. Mentioning that he also mentions that Tate has a girlfriend on the side, and he's cucking the boss's daughter, which I thought was, you know, interesting. But you get a nice set design here. But Voss as Tate sits down at the workbank, shoulder to shoulder with the rest of the drones, and it's a really nice set piece. It's like real industrial, which I thought was pretty cool. And the way that they did that with the big scrolling balls, and everything looks like beat up, and it's like they don't take any care of it. And there's even like it's almost a cage around them. Like, did you notice that too? There's almost a cage there, which I thought was like kind of an interesting choice. They're like drones.
Everything looks very retro. It's futuristic but retro at the same time, like, you know, steampunky stuff. And it's cool the way they did it. It's, you know, Cronenberg. It seems like, you know, Brendan Cronenberg took a lot from his father, or his father's, at least the guy that comes up with all the props and the effects and all that kind of stuff, like the practically used effects and all that kind of, because it looks like stuff that his father would have used in his films, you know, like Crimes of the Future and stuff like that. Like the way the technology, some of it looks and stuff, it just looks like stuff that, I bet they used the same guys for like the practical effects and all that kind of stuff, you know, just building and modeling and all that stuff. I bet it's the same people, because it looks like it could be in the same world as like Crimes of the Future and stuff, you know.
You notice too, whenever they're
less dystopian than that, but yeah.
They have the friends over, and he's sitting there and he's like doing coke off the mirror, and you realize it kind of reoccurs again with the friends that overstay their welcome, because she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't think they were going to stay that long." And he's just like, "No, it's cool." We have that reoccurring thing where people overstay in their welcome, like this on the outside, and it's like, what are they playing at here?
Yeah. But yeah, the work scene, I really like the way they drew that, and they really painted out like this is the guy's father-in-law, future father-in-law that owns this company, massive company, and he's got him at a step above janitor, basically.
Changing light fixtures. His name is at the top of the list for changing light fixtures.
Yeah, on Saturday. He's supposed to come in on Saturday and change light fixtures. Saturday. Again,
well, think about it. The guy that's having sex with your daughter, you might decide to put him, you know, as the janitor of the place.
I want him to be a millionaire. I want him to be a millionaire, so he's fucking, you better be rich.
Not to get ahead of ourselves, but the line later that says, "I hope the job's not above your skill set."
Yeah,
or something
that
like
all keeps coming back through.
Yeah.
So his job is using a VR headset, viewing people's home interiors through their devices in their home, like Amazon Alexa type thing. And this is all very timely to that, because it was kind of like, this is when it was kind of breaking that, you know, their homes are being mapped, data by all this stuff. In fact, Amazon is buying that company Roomba. Amazon's buying the company just so they can have the footprint of everybody's homes right now, because that robot maps the house and they get all that data when they buy the company. So
yeah, it's the little cleaning robot that goes around cleaning the house and all that stuff, the Roomba thing. Yeah.
But the Roomba maps the house, and now Amazon will know your house's floor plan. And they're paying.
The rug in our hallway and under our bed is all they're going to see. Every time we run our fucking room, it just gets fucking stuck. Our job every night to get home was the fucking Roomba. Where's it at? It's stuck under the fucking bed. Piece of shit. Anyway.
He's looking for window treatments. That's his job, to describe window treatments for data collection. He scrolls around and he stops on a couple having sex. A very graphic scene. I would say extremely graphic. Pornographic. Even. Now, Anthony, why is something like this important? Why is this in here?
Cut to me.
You want me to explain it?
You know why this scene's important? And I'll tell you why, because there are a lot of people that don't like nudity and sex and stuff like that in their movies. It's important because of the immersion into the world and into what they're going through. Because I'll tell you what, when directors try to shy away from like nudity and all that kind of stuff, sex scenes stuff, that takes me out of the film more than immerses me into it. So by showing that, I feel like this is the real world, it's real life, this is what people do. I'm linked in, you know, you got me. So that's
God damn, you got to start a church, brother. God damn.
Brand new immediately, just cut to Anthony.
I knew who to go to. I knew who to go to with that, and I couldn't agree more. And you know, there are some people, I'm not going to mention names, who are very critical of that line of thinking, and they go, "Oh, you're just a pervert, or you're just this or that." It's like, no, it adds the realism level. Everything Anthony just said, it adds to the realism of it. And it's just like those knife wounds in the neck. It looks like she's really stabbing that dude in the fucking neck, and it looks like she's really enjoying it. So, I mean, where do we stop? You know, this director Cronenberg has no problem putting anything he wants. If he thinks it needs to be in there, it's going to be in there. And I feel
as far as taking out of a movie, like if you're watching like a sex scene, you have a couple in a hot tub in a secluded cabin, and the girl's wearing a bathing suit or whatever. It's like, come on, really? That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Or, you know, she gets up to go to the bathroom. She puts on some clothes.
Right.
Afterwards. Right. Sure.
Yeah.
We all do that. Why not? You know, just in case. So,
or when they put the towel on behind the closed shower door, they put the towel on there.
Yeah, they're in the shower. They take a shower, and before they get out, they put the towel on before they get out.
Who the fuck does that shit?
We all do that. Everybody does that. So anyway, perverts. I didn't need any of that. Frankly, I didn't need any of that.
Right.
I wish this was a Criterion release, frankly.
Yeah.
In his ear, as he's watching this scene happen, the supervisor, boss, is watching this, is demanding he hurry up. He's moving at a snail's pace. Focus. Again, talks to him like a dog. He describes the window treatment and seems to be struggling, rips off his headset and sees another floating tic-tac-like orb and storms off, holding the same hand from earlier that he was having problems with. Boss is having issues altogether. She's like having a panic attack, so it looks like. Boss is in the bathroom, visualizing herself deteriorating as visions coming through and flashes of her son in the mirror. Voss, as Tate comes to on the bathroom floor with Gerger in her ear, Jennifer Jason Leigh, telling her to calibrate and make sure she's at her best. This is a very important job, and her levels were spiking. That's why she's concerned. Voss says she has it under control. Again, Tate's friend Eddie finds him in the bathroom to check on him, and checks on him to tell him that there's mandatory overtime on Saturday. And he's top of the list to change light fixtures. I can't remember exactly, light bulbs or whatever the hell it was. Again, he's marrying the owner's daughter, not the boss's daughter, the owner of the billionaire owner's daughter. He's changing light bulbs. Great.
Yeah, Peter, we're gonna need you to come in Saturday. And while we're at it, why don't you go ahead and
He's not even Sunday. Peter. He's not even Peter. He's Milton. Go down to the basement. And while you're here, we got sort of an
infestation problem.
That's not really what I do.
Definitely the last straw.
Spicoli's saying, "Good luck to the caveman."
Yeah.
Hagen, oh, you believe in Jesus now, huh, bitch? Good, because you're about to meet him. Hagen, I love it too. Great movie. Hateful Eight. Hey, Magic, what's going on?
What's up, Magic Hands?
Hey, Magic.
Dirk's out here. Anthony's up to bat. Yep. Step in the fray. Paul Oates saying, "What's up to Mike?" Wrangler. Alan says, "I love your Scream Factory Cell video." Yeah, it was a good one, man.
I appreciate it, Wild Wrangler.
Major catharsis. All Oates, the overtime shit has to identify. Was to identify lampshades. If he didn't, if he did the pleats and the blinds, I think, something like that. It was something stupid and demeaning. He's saying, "What's up, the caveman?" Yeah, guy had to run. So, leading into this, you get that. I don't know what they would call it. What you would call the track, the now Brandon Cronenberg tracking shot, exterior tracking shots that he does, where It's like a twisting, like pan, like a spiral pan of the exterior of the buildings as they're going in. He does this in all of his movies now, which I don't think I've ever seen that before. Really nice, and like the inversion there. Voss as Tate comes home to the girlfriend, immediately attacking him with questions. Where were you? Why didn't you text me? Voss as Tate, the girlfriend, and two of her friends, female, vape and talk about how shitty Tate's job is. And they discuss the situation with the home devices, seeing what you're doing when they're home, which again, that's a big timely concern. Voss goes to the bathroom where one of the girlfriend's friends comes in, makes it obvious that they have a relationship on the side together. Cut to Tate and his girlfriend in bed again. She's attacking him with questions. Cut again to them having sex. Even the way she wants to have sex with him is emasculating. She's like putting fingers in his mouth and grabbing him by the throat, like he's the woman. It's like, it was really odd. It was just odd, but that emasculating thing, I don't know where they got that info from.
Like,
and
the shot where it shows the boobs and it shows the dick as it goes down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't get too excited, Alan. We'll get to that. Like, wait a minute. Don't forget
everybody's thinking about it.
That's the best part.
Alan jumps straight to the dick. He's like, as the camera goes down.
So he starts to Voss starts to, kind of panic a little bit underneath this woman doing all this emasculating stuff to her. She turns her over, and she's now herself from the waist up and him from the waist down, standing there in all the glory. And again, he does this kind of thing. Cronenberg does this kind of thing, but you can tell it's 100% Voss in there the whole time, and she's enjoying it.
Yeah.
The next morning, Voss as Tate reaches out to Gerder. She tells her she doesn't know what's happening with the spikes, and the results were inclusive. She tells her to recalibrate again. The assassination happens tonight after the party. Voss does the calibration. Cut to Parse, the target. That's the owner of the company, the father of the girl, played by Sean, who he's really, I call him a professional dyer, because he fucking dies in everything he's ever been in, ever. He's really good at it. He doesn't die in Ronin. He's the guy that is a fake and gets pushed out by Robert De Niro, basically, but I assumed he was going to die. He's the Irish guy from Ronin at the beginning that throws up.
Yeah.
Anyway, Parse is giving a speech at the party. His own daughter is describing him as a monster and an atrocity. I think Sean Bean really classes up this movie a little bit, kind of gives it a little bit more, I don't know, pomp maybe. But the girlfriend and Tate go up to Parse. They're all vaping, including Parse, and he's talking to management. Parse immediately starts shitting on Tate. He says, "I found him a little job, and hopefully it isn't beyond his skill set. Let me know if it's too difficult for you." And it's a job even a monkey could do. But he just, kind of takes it. But you can kind of see that, the angle they were spinning is building. Voss as Tate walks away from the party to talk to Gerder and telling her she's in place. Gerder tells her exactly what to do, which she does. She pretends to drink too much, forces an altercation with Parse, gets himself thrown out of the party. Back at the office, Voss's body, it shows her really excited, like her mouth is kind of quivering as Voss, as Tate, moves into the house to look for Parse to murder him. She grabs a fire poker. Parse and his daughter talk about what happened. Daughter blames Parse for what happened with her boyfriend. He tells her to run off to Dubai with her mother, and she leaves the room. Voss, again as Tate, sits down and sets a gun on the table. Parse goes for the gun. Voss hits him with a fire poker over and over again, like 40, 50 times. He sticks the fire poker right through his fucking teeth into his mouth. Blood is spurting everywhere. It's a really brutal scene. The girlfriend comes in, and Voss shoots her in the back twice as she runs away. Voss then pops out Pars's eye with the fire poker. Again, blood going everywhere. It's fucking brutal. And Voss couldn't be more satisfied with this. Like straight up climax as she's popping that dude's fucking eye out of his head.
Yep.
Voss follows the blood trail. The wounded girlfriend finishes her off with one to the head. Again, Voss says, "Pull me out," and attempts to shoot herself in the head, but can't pull the trigger. Voss stabs Tate in the head with a broken piece of glass, kind of near the implant. And there's shots internally of the decoupling between Voss and Tate.
That's
like literally another great little sequence where they're pulling each other's face apart. Back at Voss's body, she's spitting up blood. They're saying the implant was damaged. Tate, as Tate now on the run, walking down an alley, finds some clothes at a laundry to change into. Girder and the text are saying that Tate is now the dominant one, and Voss may have brain damage from this. Tate pulls broken glass out of the top of his head as he's hid in the bathroom changing clothes. He gets a call from Girder asking for a word, and Tate hangs up. Which that's got to be creepy as fuck. As this guy,
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. I'll make sure we're caught up with the chat. Screen back yourself video. Yep, we're caught up with the chat. Oh,
I gotta tell you, he's a damn Jon Snow looking bitch. He looks like the dude Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. That's what I thought he was at first.
This Abbott guy's been in a bunch of stuff. Really solid actor.
Yeah, he does look like Jon Snow, though. I was thinking the exact same thing.
You notice too, whenever Girder reaches out to like do what they call the recalibration of the binding, like the precision of what she's calling out, which I would assume is like voltage and watts, whatever they're sticking in the the skull to recalibrate. It's like she's calling out like geographical coordinates or some shit, and you're like, God damn, like how precise is this shit?
Turn it up to 11, 6, 1, 3, 9.
She throws in like the W at the end. You're like, is that West?
Yeah.
We got a niner in there.
It's all very complicated, but unlike some sci-fi movies, it's just technical enough to be believable, but not so technical. You're like, okay, I don't need to hear about the ray gun and how the battery works and all this shit. It's just like I said, just enough. Tate goes to his girlfriend's friend's house, who he has a relationship on the side with. But when he gets there, Voss takes over and tells her that he did it so that they could be together. She doesn't understand. The girl doesn't understand at all. She's not the brightest girl. But he can stay 2 nights while she's out of town. She takes a shower, and it shows Voss aiming at her with a gun. But it cuts away. Cuts back to Tate as Tate watching TV. That night, Tate's friend, Eddie from earlier, knocks on the door and says Rita called him to go check on him, basically. And Tate turns his back, and his friend Eddie hits him with like some kind of like steampunk like taser gun. And Eddie calibrates Voss and brings her back. Says he was a plant the whole time, and Girder sent him in. Says he's a huge fan of Voss's work, and it's an honor. He tells Voss that she has to shoot herself in the head to complete the narrative, and that he's a Christian, so he can't do it for her, which I thought was a weird thing to just blurt out, but okay. He runs some tests on Voss, and as Tate, and images flash as Tate is strangling Voss to death, and he crushes her face, crushes her skull, and pulls her face off and wears it like a mask. On all the memories of Voss now flash to Tate. And which that's not like, it's kind of a weird way of doing it, but it starts to unravel a little later. But yeah, he gets the memories of Voss, her most recent memories. Let's put it that way. so he can kind of like see her house and see some of the stabbings that she did and all this shit. Tate wakes up as Tate to find his friend Eddie has been shot to death. His girlfriend has been shot to death in the shower. Apparently, Voss shot them, and it's just more evidence painting to him as the killer. Voss and Tate struggle over the gun with the gun to their head, and Tate Voss tries to shoot Tate in the head, but it doesn't work. He misses. She misses. Tate heads for Voss's house. He stands outside Voss's house and repeats the lines from earlier she was rehearsing. Sees her son outside and talks to him. And says he thinks he knows him from somewhere. The father calls the boy inside. All right, so we're almost to the real good shit. Again, I'll check the chat before we get too far. No, we're good. Tate waits till night, and he's vaping outside, of course. That's what you do in this movie. I mean, it's literally the little boy vapes, apparently. I mean, everybody fucking vapes. He waits outside, and then he forces himself in the front door, asking questions about Voss to the husband at gunpoint. He says, "Do you worry about parasites like a cat, like toxoplasmosis? Something could get into her brain and change her like a worm of an idea." And he says, "You're married to a worm." And of course, the husband doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't know who this guy is, anything about him. Tate screams at Voss to come out or he'll shoot. He's got the gun to the husband's head. Voss comes into his subconscious and says, "You're the one in control. You did all of this." They argue. She says, "Poor Michael. I loved him. I loved him too, but I'm not sure if that was me or not." Tate tells Voss, "You fix this or I'll kill him. I swear I'll kill him." And Voss says, "Go ahead and do it. He's only holding me back." Michael escapes from underneath him and goes for the gun. He shoots Voss as Tate. Gets him in the shoulder, I think, if I remember correctly. Voss takes him out with a meat cleaver. Great scene. I love that shot. The fingers that he gets, he attacks the gun and hits the fingers. The fingers and half his hand gets cut off, and it's fucking like moving. It looks so goddamn real.
Oh, I know so fucking well.
Yeah, and she hits him with that meat cleaver.
This is all that's left.
Yeah, this is all that's left. Like Myers and Halloween Ends. She hits him about 75 times with that meat cleaver. Blood, and again, you can tell it's Voss. This is Voss's MO that's taken back over. She's killing her husband. Blood's going everywhere. It's great. Brutal scene. Again, Voss, as Tate, says, "Pull me out," and tries to shoot herself in the head. Can't do it. A knife goes into her neck, into Tate's neck as her. She blindly fires at the attacker. She realizes it's her son who stabbed her in the neck and that she shot him. He's got a bullet wound in him. He's just standing there, stunned. She realizes it's her son, and a flash clearly shows it's Voss as she unloads the gun into her son, screaming as she's doing it. It blows his brains out.
You don't see a kid that age get his fucking back of his head blown out too often in movies.
No,
the fuckers went for
that was
it.
great.
Yeah. They went full. They pulled no punch in the punch.
For the sake of visceral shit, like for real, like that end has got. If that shit doesn't gut punch you, you're like, God damn, like what does? That's a child death, and they saved it for the end.
Yeah, her screaming at him, enraged at the whole thing, and and just her. It's her doing it. 100% her doing it.
I mean, killing her husband made sense because he was like 2 strokes and then he was done, so that made sense. I wasn't surprised.
They were separated anyway. They're already separated.
Yeah, they're already separated.
There's already like some turmoil.
She'd already moved out.
Going on.
Well,
yeah.
So again,
maybe that's why she was smelling him. There was just no connection there. She didn't even have the sense of that relation.
We just justified why she hit this bitch 75 times with a meat cleaver. Oh, she was already moved out. It didn't matter.
Yeah, she was already moved on. All that
subconscious was way gone.
So they're laying there face to face on the ground, dying. Their blood is pooling together, and the boy says, "Pull me out," which some people miss for some reason. I don't know why they missed that, but the boy says, "Pull me out."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The blood continues to pull together. It's in the shape of a giant heart. Anybody notice that?
Yeah.
Girder as the son now and Voss are both get pulled out in the office. And then they stare at each other. Voss and Girder do the debriefing again from earlier. And she identifies objects. She's doing it perfectly this time. No hesitation. She's really into it this time, unlike earlier. She pulls out the dead butterfly again. This time she says, "This is also mine. I killed it and mounted it one summer when I was a little girl." When earlier she described the same object and added, "And then I felt guilty about it, and I still feel guilty about it."
Right.
Meaning now she feels nothing. And Girder is extremely pleased with this.
No remorse.
And that's the end of the movie. That's how it ends. Just like that.
That's what they wanted. No remorse. No,
Yep.
You know, they want a perfect killing machine.
Fucking bravo, too. That ending is fucking great.
It is.
Worked out perfectly. Let's catch up with the chat real quick. I think there's only one here. Wrangler, I thought it was Tate who shot Eddie because of all the bleed through, the retaliation for Voss shooting his chick. No. Voss shoots Eddie, and it's just more fuel for Eddie to take revenge.
Retaliation.
On Voss.
Yep.
All right. So before we get into the ranking here, let's go around and just see if there's anything anybody forgot or what thoughts on what this movie's about. Alan, what do you think this movie's about? Is there any kind of overarching theme, or is it just what you see?
At least not any that my intelligence level is going to pick up on. Like I said, it was basically you get kind of the Matrix vibe. They're jumping in and out. Perfect assassins. But as far as her, like you said, as far as doing that test after each time, that was the one thing I was going to mention. Whatever is that the second time she had no remorse. Yeah, she mentioned that she felt guilty then, she feels guilty now. She even smells her granddad's pipe, whatever that was handed down from her given to her by her dad. Yeah. First time when she smells it, you almost can tell she's having feelings. Second time, she really didn't have any.
Nothing. Yeah,
there was nothing even. I mean, she just laid it back down. No big deal.
Yeah.
And I think that she eventually got so detached from herself, from this fucking machine, whatever, that she's now exactly what they fucking wanted.
Yeah.
I
mean, the narrative is pretty obvious where it's Girder is grooming her this whole time, and she's ruthless about it. She wants her to take her job so Girder can move up the line. So, like when she goes, when Eddie comes in to help bring her back, if you remember, Eddie knocks on the door, and when Tate is still in control, and he stuns Tate, puts him down on the thing, and he starts calibrating her. And then later, when he's under, there's additional machinery there, and he's still working on Tate when he's unconscious. So Tate wakes up and he has information on Voss. Who's her husband, who's her son, and where are they located? And that was all implanted by Girder to get Tate to go to the home and murder the husband and the son, so Voss can be free to do her job. So
you saw there was no remorse on Girder's face when they both woke up from, being in control of, she was in control of the kid. And there was just, no remorse, nothing on Girder's face, stone cold psychopath herself, just there's nothing there, even though, the kid's now dead. The husband's dead. Like all these, these innocent people are just dead, and she doesn't give a rat's ass.
Yeah. But Anthony, anything else with this as far as what's this about?
I think we all broke it down pretty well, man. I think it's one of those movies that you watch it the first time and you're just like, Jesus Christ! Like there's so much going on with like the technology And like I said, all the effects and, you know, the music and just there's so much emotion and everything going on to it, you know, with it. So that hits you hard the first time. But then when you go and watch it a second time, you can really start to analyze it, break it down even more. And stuff. And it's
so Sean Bean didn't die, right? Because they showed him in the wheelchair.
Sean Bean actually lives.
Yeah, so he didn't die.
I missed that. I should have put that in there. There's a flash of Sean Bean alive.
How the fuck did he not die? That's what I want to know.
Which makes no sense because he always died.
I know.
But he lived through that.
That is really weird. But I also love the voice distortion that they used when it was like the woman's voice and the man's voice at the same time, you know, Voss and Tate. You know, that like kind of, it almost kind of sounded, it reminded me of the voice from Donnie Darko that you get from, you know, that you get in there.
On top of voices.
Yeah, I really like that effect. But no, I think that's it. It's pretty straightforward. I love a good dark twisted ending. You know, like I like how it ended. I thought that was solid.
People complain about the way it worked because some people thought it was going to be like a hero's journey. Like Tate was going to take the bastards down. You know, Tate was going to get his revenge and go after Girder and go after everybody. It just doesn't work that way. You know, it's a giant.
It wasn't that kind of movie. This was not a happy ending movie.
Yeah,
this movie was not a happy ending movie. It would have fucking lived if it had one.
You know, Tate's a drug dealer, or whatever, but he doesn't deserve this. But at the same time, it doesn't. You know, it's this big corporation versus one guy, and it's exactly how it would end.
Right. No, so
John,
I like it. No.
Anything else as far as what this movie's about that you picked up on?
Dude, I'm definitely going to go for it here, and you're going to call me an asshole when I'm done with this. But that film right there is 100%, 102 minutes of a slap in the face towards political science. 100%. About 4 or 5 years ago, we had our first what we call like with Elon Musk and all this AI, artificial intelligence shit that came out, and that whole thing that got a backlash where everybody was like, "Wait a minute." Like you're taking real people and you're modifying them into where they're nothing more than a fucking computer program. If you look at that film in that same basis as I remember Joe Rogan even kind of like touched on this film just a little bit back in the day, and he kind of went off the path of it. But it's kind of touching on that in a way because how they're syncing and they're binding the brain together. You get what I mean? Like especially with the coordinates, they're syncing up with everybody's emotions and shit. That's what everybody's saying. What AI is going to replicate all of us to do anyway. So I picked up on that a little bit. I know that's far fetched and it's way out there on a limb, but every time I watch this movie, I can see it.
It's not really that far fetched, really. I don't think. I
don't think so at all. It's a Cronenberg movie. There's nothing far fetched about them.
You know, of course, we all know his dad, right? Like he must have had like this really fucking horrible biology professor, and he must have had nightmares about that motherfucker like until this day because all of his movies are about body horror with some weird shit. But his son, though, I dig it, man. Like I would say is just even seeing only this film so far. I have not seen Infinity Pool or anything else. Like I've only seen this film. I would say, fuck it. I'm going on a limb. I'm gonna say fucking Brandon's got a little bit of a bigger leap than what his dad has with me. So
yeah.
But
judging by his first three, if you judge Cronenberg's first three by Brandon Cronenberg's first three, I don't think the career path could even be close. His first three movies are a lot stronger than David Cronenberg.
So he's got this in Infinity Pool. What else does he have?
Antiviral. Some movie called Antiviral he did.
I haven't seen
This is his first movie.
Well, I haven't seen Infinity Pool yet either. I got it coming.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Possessor is his first film?
No, and Antiviral is his first film, Possessor second, Infinity Pool third.
Gotcha. Yeah. Solid film, man.
So yeah, you're not retarded. I went a different way, but it's just as far-fetched as what I got from it. But what it's about, Brandon Cronenberg has said some things about this movie. He said he mentioned themes of big tech overreach. This was, when he was writing this was at the time of what's his name, Snowden. All that shit was happening. He's still in Russia to this day.
WikiLeaks.
Yeah, all WikiLeaks. There he is. Lack of privacy, and he also mentioned identity crisis. Voss is desperately wanting to escape the life that she's in, for this new life as the serial killer that she's really into. So identity crisis, tech overreach, both big themes. But as the more and more I watch Brandon Cronenberg's work, and again, even his dad's work before, they both have major issues with feminism and women to an extent. The Brood, I'll bring up, his dad made The Brood about his divorce with his wife. Brandon Cronenberg is his son, and the harsh feelings that David Cronenberg has for his wife, which is Brandon Cronenberg's mother, I guarantee you, if she broke up the family and that's the view, he has those same views, that she's this horrible monster, this bitch that she turns into in The Brood. So there's definitely that, I feel. But even more in general, I think that it's a critique on hardcore feminism. Now, this movie follows Voss, who had a husband and a son, but she becomes more and more obsessed with her career and the career path and that kind of dualism where you can't, if you want to go be very successful as a woman in the workplace, can't really have a husband and a kid and kids. You kind of have to forego that life to have a incredibly successful career. And I think it's a pointed at that where you're sacrificing literally the family for the sake of your career, like hardcore feminist, propaganda goes. So she is so career obsessed, in fact, that she brutally murders her own husband and little boy for the sake of her career. And I feel like it's a critique on hardcore feminist propaganda. That's what I took from it. But like I said, I think that's a little bit more like inside. Like I think is Brandon Cronenberg, if you watch his other movies, you can kind of see again they have a similar feel to them, similar theme to them, and that's what I took from it. But again, that's more of like
what was interesting to me is right after she killed her boy, whatever, and her and Jennifer Jason Leigh woke up side by side, whatever. I thought she was going to go after Jennifer Jason Leigh and fuck her up.
Yeah,
so getting in her son's shit, and as soon as she didn't give a fuck,
she was more thankful.
She was gone.
She was more like thankful of Jennifer Jason Leigh for helping her do what she wanted to do the whole time. And she even says to Tate, "Go ahead. He's only holding me back anyway." When Tate's got the gun to her husband's head.
Yeah. Because at first I thought when she got off the table, she was going to go both feet right in her ass, is what I thought. But it wasn't like that at all. It wasn't that at all.
It was literally like she's all better now, where she was indecisive at the beginning. Now she's 100% centered and feeling great that those burdens are no longer on her shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you look at Gerder's face too after that, you could tell like she's relieved too. Like she's got like this little smile on her face. Like, she
did her job. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got the pupil. See, like she can't move up until she gets somebody to replace her. Now Gerder gets the better job. She climbs the corporate ladder. She's a feminist too. She's a hardcore feminist too. She will do anything to get what she wants in the career also, including kill these other people. So she gets the better job. Voss goes in right underneath her, and on they both go up the ladder.
Thinking about that now, that's not even really subliminal for this film. That's like pretty much right in your fucking face. I didn't even pick up on that. I really didn't. Now I'm like, holy fuck.
Maybe you haven't watched it enough. I've seen it about 6 times, so maybe that's what it is. But also, knowing Cronenberg and his issues in the past, and like I said, knowing that the Brood movie kind of helped me. Because of the divorce, and the monster that his wife is portrayed as, if she was really the cunt that broke up the family, his son's got to have those same feelings about
animosity, no doubt.
So.
Yeah, that's shedding dead weight though. You're spot on with that shit though. I didn't even really look at it that way. Now I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna go back and rewatch this one more time.
Well, let's catch up with the chat before we rank this thing. Let's see. Make sure. Holland says the twist is Sean Bean lives. Yeah, absolutely. That's the twist.
Nobody lives.
You probably said, "Look, I'm tired of fucking dying. I'll do this movie, but I ain't dying."
No, I'm not dying.
I might be fucked up, but I'm still alive.
Got an eye patch on.
A quick flash of me in a wheelchair will do. Just okay, just to show that I'm still alive.
Bro.
That was the stipulation in his contract when he signed on for the film. He's like, "Fuck that, I'll live."
I guess they had considered, or I was reading that, there's a possibility that there could even be a second one of these at some point, which I guess makes sense. I mean, you could easily probably do a second one. I'm not saying you need to, but I know I was reading that that's a possibility. So I don't know if Brendan Cronenberg's the type of guy that does a sequel, but he doesn't seem like that type of guy. But you never know.
But anytime you craft a world like this, when you build a world like this, and they can use all this shit again, that's when they want to do a sequel. John Wick, John Wick was a big success, but it was the world, the underground that they built that leads to a sequel.
Well, they tried it with the Matrix. The Matrix didn't work.
Matrix
the sequels on that did not work, and I'm afraid this would be the same way.
I think it would be the same. I don't think you'll ever be able to do it.
It's a pretty perfect one and done.
Yeah, I think so.
Holland says, but I agree. How the fuck is he alive? Yeah, exactly. Wild Wrangler says, what will Brandon Cronenberg's next film be after Infinity Pool? I don't know what this is.
There's a movie called Dragon. There's no details. It doesn't even say if he's directing it or producing it, but it's just a movie called Dragon. There's no details about it yet. And then after that, he has a TV series called Super Cans, like Cannes Film Festival. It's just called Super Cans. And it says TV series. No details. It doesn't say what part he's playing in that, whether he's producing or directing or what, but that's it.
That's why I was saying maybe they left Sean Bean alive, because if they do a sequel, it might be important that his character sticks around. You know what I mean? Because technically they didn't accomplish their job because he's still alive. They didn't kill him or whatever. So it's like maybe that's where they would go with that sequel potentially. Maybe that's why they left him alive. Yeah.
There's like an espionage, a little bit of an espionage angle in this.
Right.
He's got to strike back at them. Who knows? But exactly. I'm fine with it just being one.
No, me too. Yeah.
Carta Derdention. Shivers is David Cronenberg's best of his first three. Yeah, I agree with that. I still don't think it's I don't think it's shit compared to this, but Shivers is a better Cronenberg movie. One of his better ones, I think. We're getting to that magic. We will, as soon as we catch up with the chat, we will rank it out of 10 because that's what we do here. Spicoli asking for an out of 5. We don't do that shit here, man. I feel like the guy at Step Brothers on stage when the guy keeps asking, you play this song, do that, play something from The Stranger. And he's like, look, motherfucker. That's what I feel like right now. We only do 80s, Joel. Now take your skank hooker wife and get the fuck out of here. We do out of 10 here. Okay. Hall Notes. It's got me. Hall Notes has been around. Okay. Hall Notes is an old school. He's been around. He knows how it goes. All right. So Alan, out of 10.
Out of 10.
Give, Possessor.
I'm going kind of high with this one, Brad. I'm going to give this one 8. 8 out of 10.
8 even out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Strong movie.
Yeah, it's a good flick. It's going to be rewatchable as hell. I think every time I watch it, I'm going to pick up on other shit. I kind of want to watch it again after doing this.
Yeah.
It's worth it, man. I'm telling you, you get more out of it the more you watch it. It's definitely one of those.
Yeah, it's a solid 8 out of 10 for me. It's a solid movie, man. It really is. I'm excited to see. I'm kind of excited to see Infinity Pool now.
Yeah.
Me too.
I like to see what this guy does in the future. I think he's gonna have a big career.
I think he's gonna have a big career. Him and Ty West, they're kind of like that. They're gonna be putting out movies for a long time. I hope. But Anthony, what did you give this out of 10?
I'm gonna go 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Ooh. It's a strong ass score.
I'm going really high with it. Yeah, I'm going really high with it because it accomplished pretty much everything. I mean, I can't even really. There's not too many flaws or anything I can really nitpick or anything. I mean, it's just pretty, damn good film, and I love the ending. I love dark, twisted endings like that because a lot of directors, writers, filmmakers, they're just so afraid to give a dark ending like that. They're so afraid, and plus, just having this crazy, like, unrated, messed up, kids getting shot, sex, violence, blood, like, just really going for it in this day and age, because this was made in 2020, so it's like, or so it's being filmed in like 2019 probably and everything, so it's like just to be able to go for it like that, I give them a lot of kudos, man, because this is a tough film to get made and today for sure. I'm going strong 9 out of 10.
How long is this movie? I've never even looked.
Hour and 43 minutes.
Okay, so almost 2 hour sci-fi horror.
Well, I'm sorry, an hour and 43 minutes for the I think that's for the rated cut though. The unrated cut must be longer.
It's 104 minutes for the uncut.
Oh, so it's okay. So it's 1 minute longer. It makes
1 minute.
sense. Yeah, because it's just a little bit extra nudity, a little bit extra violence,
Frames,
a little bit
a
extra.
few frames of
Yeah,
gore,
right.
and, you know, maybe 10 extra swings with the meat cleaver. You know,
right? A few extra stabbings.
The fingers is extra in the uncut version. But Johnny, out of 10, what would you give Possessor?
Let me ask you this, man. Like, so as far as everything being practical effects, are you pretty much 100% on that?
From what I saw on there's a bonus feature on here about the practical effects. They'd said 100%, but I don't 100% know that, but it seemed that way.
Yeah. If it's 100%, that's all practical, and there was no CGI, no green screen used for that. Definitely, that's a 9 all day, just based on the gore, 100%. Because that shit was visceral and real looking as fuck, man.
Yeah.
Nothing was really over exaggerated, so I give it a 9, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Those makeup effects too, where they're like splitting their faces apart. You know, where he's separating from her and regaining his mental capacity, basically back and everything.
But having her face on with that one lazy eye, that was some creepy shit.
The mask,
oh man, I love that shit. I love it.
I mean, it's it's
You know, like you brought up too, Anthony, like the wax melting scenes, like that shit's like really cool because it stands out. That burns into your memory. The only one thing I didn't like though is when Tate actually grabs a hold of the skull and you can just kind of see it's a fake break.
It's a fake,
you know what I mean?
It's
like that's the only thing that kind of like pulled me back where I was just like, well, fuck it. At least it looks real.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the face separating scene, that's literally both actors together and they're pulling a prosthetic apart. You know, I mean, just little things like that they
and it works.
It worked perfectly.
It looks great. Yeah.
And I'm gonna go high
what
on
about
this
you,
one
Brad?
too.
What would you give it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go high on this one too, man. And like I said, I don't believe in a 10. There is no 10. There's no perfect movie, you know. But I'd 7.9 easy. You know, it's the best movie we've ever done with WTF. That's for sure, in my opinion.
You got the highest overall score for sure.
Yeah, it's a really good one, man. And I really recommend it. You know, if you got the patience for this kind of thing, you get the stomach for it because it is violent as fuck. I mean, and it's very uncomfortable violence too. It's very visceral, and a lot of people have
that opening kill. If you can make it past that opening kill, you're okay. If the opening kill fucks you, just turn it off.
Yeah,
turn it off right there.
It ain't getting no better.
You know right off the bat what you're getting.
Yeah, but let's catch up with the chat and bring this bitch home. Let's see. Cindy Eubank, 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah. Nice.
God, spoiler alert, Carta. Fuck. Some of the guys haven't seen it yet.
No, I'm not
Infinity Pool.
All I saw was the most horrifying, and then I stopped reading it.
I've already read it. It makes me kind of want to see it more now.
Exactly. Why I'll fucking watch that.
There's still book coming, so I haven't seen it yet.
The Infinity Pool uncut version is not as. This is the better cut. I'm gonna be the uncut guy regardless, but this is the more important of the two to have the uncut. The other one, either way, but this is definitely the one you want to have the uncut version of. The Infinity Pool, the new one's coming out uncut, so it's fine. There's a little more blood and a little more of this, but that one's noticeably different with the uncut.
Or as Brad calls it, the uncircumcised.
The uncircumcised cut, yeah.
I prefer to see more dick in your movies. Congratulations, fellas.
You got it. Fucking Alan just going, hey, don't forget the part where it pans down and he's got a dick. You guys
exactly.
It was just a fucking unique shot. It was a
nice
WTF shot.
Not afraid to show it. And listen, I mean, the girls in this that are nude, it ain't like it's full on with them too. Spread eagle. So it's both equal rights. Hall and Oates agree. Best WTF movie so far. Yeah, probably so, man. I think so. There's been some good ones too. Allie said best WTF title for me so far was Pearl, Modern Masterpiece.
That was a pretty great stream too.
It's really good movie, really good stream, really fun stream. I still think X is the better of the two.
I do too.
And
But
I
I
was
did like
telling-
Pearl
I
a lot
was
more on the
telling-
second watch. When I watched Pearl the second time, knowing what I was going in for, I liked it a lot more.
Yeah.
I was telling
Mhm.
Allie what you said, Brad, about the whole like that guy being in her head and stuff like that, or whatever. And she's like, "Wow, I didn't even like think about that." I'm like, "Go back and watch that movie again
With that in mind.
your head." Like,
Yeah.
right? He doesn't even really exist. It's just all in her head and stuff. And it's like it's kind of like Rent-A-Pal, where they don't spoon feed it to you. There's no big like, "Oh, it was all in her mind the whole time." There's none of that at the end of it. So yeah, definitely a good stream.
Yeah, that's a good movie, good stream, and like I said, I think it will age well. I think you know.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
But if you were looking to have a good time, it's hard to not put it. If you're between those two, it's hard to not put it X. Hall and Oates says if Pops likes dick shots, watch him Gasper No movie.
What the fuck?
Where did this come from?
So that's how fucking rumors get started right there.
That's how it happens. Just like that.
Yeah, you just bought Irreversible. That's one of his films, right there. Alan.
Yeah. There's plenty of that one. Stream it before you open it. That's all I'm saying.
Alan,
Yeah, it's still not open yet.
over on Alan's channel. Hey, Alan, top 10 dick shots in movies.
Put that in the recommendation. Oh, Irreversible with the slip goes for 100 and something on eBay. So, like I said, stream it before you open it. If you don't like it, sell it.
Yeah. I got to sit right here.
Odd Wrangler, great stream. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Wrangler.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Carta, if you're still wanting recommendations for the future WTF episodes, I would recommend The Devil's 1971. It's forever
That's come
banned.
before, I think. I think somebody else said that before.
Yeah, Chuck recommended that. It's
Yeah.
forever banned from Warner Brothers. The uncut version is out there. Yeah, it's bootleg only. I have it, and it's definitely a strong WTF. Carter is actually going to be coming on the stream when we get back to Lynch, which eventually will happen. Carter's a big Lynch guy. Gasper knows Love has 3D shots. Oh, Love, it's on Netflix. Spoiler, it has a lot in that movie. A whole lot in that movie. The movie's called Love. Allie says, love the shirt, by the way, Alan. Dr. Loomis is a legend. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm with Anthony when it comes to Halloween. I think those are Loomis movies. Loomis being crazy. I shot him 6 times, all that stuff.
That's what I watch Halloween for, is for Loomis. It's not for Laurie Strode, and it's not. I mean, Michael obviously is great, but he's only as great as he is because of Loomis. You know, that's why he adds
Loomis
the
carries the story. Loomis keeps it interesting, while Michael's just standing next to a laundry.
He makes it a step above a regular slasher movie. You know,
Exactly.
I think he's the reason why it's so iconic. I think.
I mean, look,
guys,
take Loomis out.
Guys, he just said great T-shirt. Now, come on, this is a fucking Possessor fucking stream, not
let's
Michael
stop.
Myers.
Exactly, I agree with you. Let's
I
stop.
think Johnny's still tired of Halloween shit.
Let's hit the end button.
I'm over
Let's hit the end button. We're gonna go backstage and talk
Good
about
call,
a future
Johnny.
title. We're gonna talk about a future title. But yeah, this was a good stream. I appreciate everybody coming on, and there'll be more later.
Oh, and guys, down in the comments, leave what you would recommend for the next WTF or the ones coming
any
up.
recommendations? Yeah, this is not that channel where it's like and subscribe and share it and blah blah. I don't care. I don't care about it being pushed around. I actually want more recommendations about some WTF titles.
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyway, we'll catch you guys later.
See ya, guys.